part of the week, we're going to be focusing on something a little bit different than we normally do. This isn't a particular name that you can buy options or a stock in. Rather, it's just an indicator that tells us a little bit about what is happening currently in the markets and may help us give us clues on where to go. So this is called the NAMOT, or the NAMOT, which is the NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator. Now, the McClellan Oscillator simply looks at breadth in the markets, up issues versus down issues, and rates it with a score based on certain moving averages, and the differential of those two moving averages gives us a score of on the NAMOT, and it's an oscillator, so it moves up and down and straddles zero. So when we basically the theory is on the oscillator is when we reach high levels on the NASDAQ, for instance, say above 200, 250, markets are getting a little overbought, and it's time to turn around and do some selling, at least look for a short-term correction. Now, on the other hand, when we hit these low levels down here around minus 250, minus 300, we get into an area of deeply oversold, and it's time possibly to turn around and start doing some buying if you haven't already. So I want to show you where we're at right now and where we were recently and over the past couple of years to put some context on where we are currently. So after a huge drop these past 3 days, between Thursday, Friday, and Monday, August 1st, 2nd, and 5th, right? The oscillator has traveled in a huge way here in a very, very short period of time. So actually over about a week and a half ago, we were up at near record levels, about 360 on the oscillator on the positive side. So it's time to turn around and go negative. And it didn't take long to get down to minus 300. So plus 370, 360 to minus 320 here. And so you can see how quickly this oscillator can turn. You can see back in the early part of January of 2023, we were up in that high 30s, high 300s range, and then in just a matter of weeks, went down to the minus 300 range. Go back to 2022 when we were in the throes of that bear market. Lots and lots of moves up and down from overbought to oversold. We were overbought here at plus 300 here back in April, and then also in June, and we quickly made moves down. So these conditions don't last at the extremes. That's the point I want to make to you. They don't last very long at the extreme. So we're at an extreme level right now, right? So we can probably look for this oscillator to start turning right back up. When we are at these levels, you can notably see that anywhere from minus 300, minus 250 to minus 300, almost every single time that it moves right back up again. So how does this indicator act like this, right? Because it gets to extreme levels on buying and selling, especially when we get to the downside like we are right now. And think about a rubber band that gets stretched all the way back, right? And all the way back as far as you can take it, and then you let it go, and it just snaps. Well, that's what's happening here when we reach these extreme levels. It snaps, right? Also to the upside as well. But I did want to draw your attention one more time, this 4-year chart, and 21, 22, 23, and 24. Far more negative readings on the NAMOT than there are on the positive side, right? Above 250. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on mirrored that on the other side to the negative. So it just tells you that when the NASDAQ is selling off, there's a lot of volume coming in. There's a lot of breadth. There's a lot of issues that are skewed to the downside versus the upside. Kind of makes sense, right? The past couple of years, we've had what's called the Mag 7 stocks, and all those are NASDAQ stocks. And so when the NASDAQ Mag 7 has been performing well, but the rest of the market is not, you get these huge negative readings in the NAMOT and the NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator. So hopefully that's something useful for you to learn about. NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator. There's also the NYMOT, NYMOT, which is the New York Stock Exchange McClellan Oscillator, which is also a useful tool. It's also at a oversold reading as well too right now. But we should look for a little bit of a pull up here in the next few days. we're not going to try and time it, but if you look at history, certainly the last 9 or 10 times we've reached these extreme oversold levels, the market has bounced back. Hopefully that's a good lesson for you, and thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys